I've been keeping up on making ramble videos. I'm gonna try and stay real short today. Like actually short. You know, like 5 minutes. We'll see what happens. It's already 40 seconds in, so that's not happening. I just like to talk, I guess. What if I did accent rambles? If I was like, boy, howdy, I'm from the South. And I had different characters. And I was like, oi, mate, I'm from Australia. I can do characters about as good as Kevin Malone on The Office. Oi, mate, you want a dingo for your Barbie? When I think of Australian accents, the only thing I ever think about is the Simpsons episode. And if you don't watch The Simpsons, it's probably because you didn't grow up with The Simpsons because you're not old like me. But there is an episode, I want to say it's like it's somewhere in the 8 to 12 range. But Bart makes a prank phone call to somebody in Australia, and it's collect, and it costs him a bunch of money. And then the Simpsons fly to Australia so Bart can get punished. And it's one of my favorite episodes of The Simpsons. So if you want to look that up, I highly recommend it. It's like golden era Simpsons. It's probably like the Hank Scorpio episode and then that one. And if you're not familiar with the Hank Scorpio episode, oh boy, I am envious of you. Go on Disney Plus or whatever and just Globocorp or Hank Scorpio or something. You can figure out which episode it is. I think it's like season 8 or 9. But it's the best Simpsons episode by far. So, and if there's a better one, I'm not sure what it is. So if you disagree that that's not episode 1, 2, like best 2 episodes, leave a comment down below. I'm trying to think of what some other really good episodes are. There's like one that's like 20 Stories of Springfield or something like that. That's a really good one. The Pin Pals episode where Homer starts a bowling team is a really good one. Mr. Plow is a very good episode where Homer decides he's gonna buy a plow truck and become the plow guy. Colonel Homer is another good one where Homer becomes the manager of a country singer that he finds in a bar somewhere. She's like a waitress and he brings her to fame. Spoilers, slightly spoilers. What else? The B-Sharps episode. Oh man, actually, okay. Now hang on. The B-Sharps episode might be number 2. I mean, Hank Scorpio is always going to be the number 1 episode of The Simpsons. But the B-Sharps, so Homer is in a barbershop quartet. And it's like, it's told through flashback. And that's a really good episode. It's got a couple catchy songs in it too, so. Simpsons is such a good show. I'm going to go watch The Simpsons after this, you know? So, I don't know. Are you familiar with The Simpsons? I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't looked at the stats of my YouTube channel of like what the demographics are. But did you ever watch The Simpsons? And if so, like, when did you watch The Simpsons? If you think it's bad, or if you think it's good, when did you watch it? I mean, it's bad now. I tried to watch an episode like a year ago, and it's not the same show at all. Like, no show runs for like 30 years and it's the same, you know, it just doesn't happen. I mean, Sports Center, maybe, well, even Sports Center view, but back, I don't know how old Sports Center is, but if you went back to the first episode, I guarantee you it doesn't look like it does today, so, you know, no show is the same. I couldn't tell you if Sports Center is better or worse. It's different. It's probably more of a sign of the times, but that's a new show, so that doesn't really count. You know, I can't think of another episode, like a story-based show like that's had 30 seasons. I mean, Doctor Who, but I mean, that's changed so much too, so you really can't use that one. The Simpsons, I remember one time I went on a date with this girl, and I was young, I was like 19, and I made a Simpsons reference, and she was like, what's that from? And I was like, The Simpsons, because it was like really obscure, so I was like, okay, let's give her a little testy test, throw out a real obscure Simpsons reference. And she was like, oh, I don't watch that show, it's stupid. And I was like, that's when the date ended. I mean, I didn't like kick her out or anything, but I was just like, there won't be a second date. She tried to make out with me later, and I was like, you don't like The Simpsons, I don't want to make out with you. Isn't that weird? Why I'm still single? Why I was single for most of my 20s? friendship that I desperately wanted to be a relationship, and you could just say like, wow, that was bad, like that girl took advantage of you and that's awful. Or you could be like, okay, well, what did you learn from that? And it's like, well, probably I learned a sense that I will never be happy with myself and I will always try to be better. Toxic positivity, toxic productivity. That's what I gained from that experience. But yeah, you think about things that, a lot of people would be like, oh, it's negative. But you're like, well, it made me what I am. Which I know is like a really popular argument against therapy, which is really toxic and unhealthy. So maybe I shouldn't be promoting that. I think therapy has its place and I want to try it. But I also need to get my everything together, which I feel like is an excuse. So maybe I'm just scared of it. So I have some leads on like real inexpensive therapy. Like there's a college nearby that apparently you can go see students, which I'm like, okay, well, it's better than nothing. I imagine. I don't know. I don't have a barometer for what good therapy is. So, and look at that, we're already at 8 minutes. So much for super short videos. Anyway, this all started because of The Simpsons. Simpsons is great. Watch it. Seasons like 4 through like 12. Those are the seasons that are worth watching. The rest of it you can kind of just forget about. So, anyway, I hope you're doing well. I hope it gave you a new show to watch or a rewatch if you already were an OG Simpsons fan. Remember how good those episodes were? Hank Scorpio. Come on. Come on. Such a good show. Anyway, have a good day. Have a good night. Have good sleep. Get some sleep. You deserve it. We're going to get to sleep. We're going to sleep hard so that we can attack tomorrow hard. I have faith in you. The dinosaurs believe in you.